Hiya, coming your way with another video of Watch 4, and this time around I'm looking at Watch 4 Classic. So I told you in the earlier video, which can be found in the link up here, that there were so many varieties and versions of the Watch 4, i.e. Watch 4, Watch 4 Classic, and within the Watch 4 you have 40mm size one, and you have 44mm size one, and then you have a Bluetooth only version and then LTE version as well. And then the same versions apply to the Watch 4 Classic, only that in the instance of the sizes, you have 42 for the smaller version and then 46mm for the bigger version. So making a choice between these variety has been a difficult one that you always need to research and be sure which one you really need and which one will fit your wrist. So I have on my wrist here the 42mm version of the Watch 4 Classic, and it's really nice. As you can see, I've just swapped the bands across with the bands from the other one, so the Watch 4 itself. And again, the thing with the bands is there seems to be some space. It doesn't flex immediately inside, but I guess if you really want to enjoy the bigger sizes one and your hand is small, when we're thinking about changing the straps, so you're able to sort of get one that flexes in easily just immediately, and that way you can have a bigger watch without it looking too big on your hands, if you see what I mean. Yeah, so we've used these watches for some time now, and we're getting more information on its use cases and its drawbacks and all that. So if you now yet to buy the Watch 4, you have a lot of information that will guide you to the right kind of watch size, and also whether LTE or just Bluetooth, and even the sizes as well. So I must state that there has been reported issues with the LTE versions where users are unable to enjoy like the full long use with certain functions, which are sort of curtailed as a result of overheating of the watch in some circumstances. So depending on what you want the watch for, maybe you might be looking at getting a Bluetooth one, and that might suffice for your need, or you can get the LTE one, but just bear in mind that the full functionality and the benefit of the LTE is not fully fledged, to the point of you getting long hours of use of just your watch away from your phone, and not having any limitations, because at some point you get overheating on the watch and you might not be able to do what you want to do. So or you can equally have the LTE one and sort of use Bluetooth most of the time. That's also another use case for it. But whatever it is, just look at your personal circumstance and decide the kind that works for you. So walking you quickly through the Watch 4 Classic thing. So as I would have noted in my earlier video, this Classic one has the rotating bezel, where as you move your hand along the bezel, it takes you through the different functions on the watch, and you can do stuff based on what you want to do. I mean, you can equally achieve that same feat by swiping with your hands on the screen. So you have that extra physical bezel that rotates around like that, and it gives you all the information you need. Yeah, on the Watch 4 itself, it's a digital bezel, and here you have that physical one. And the main functions that gets me going on this watch is, as you can imagine, the body composition function. Quickly take you through that and see. So this measures your body fat and all that, and this function is really key, I mean, at least for me, because it helps me know how I'm building muscles, and how much of my body is fat and water and all that, and I'm working out to ensure, you know, I get to a level where I like. And so having a watch that tells me exactly where I'm at, you know, gives me that opportunity to see what needs to be done to get me to where I want to be. So that's really good. And you know, you just put your hands on the sides like I just did for a few seconds, and your results come just like that. Another function that is also very important is the fact that you can actually show this result on your phone on a bigger screen. So yeah, or you can even make a note of your readings as well. Yeah, so that's really interesting. Yeah, and you can do sleep tracking as well. So that's really useful. And sleep tracking is really detailed, you know, in the sense of, you know, it's showing you the kind of sleep you had, whether it was deep light or, you know, REM, which is where you actually get mental recovery and refreshness, and how much of the time you are awake. And so that's really good. I really find these sleep results interesting anytime I check it out. And you can track your snoring here as well. Again, you can show all this information on your phone. Yeah, so that's really interesting. And you can measure your blood oxygen level whilst you even sleep. So all you need to do is enable continuous reading of blood oxygen level, and it will do that for you. So sleep tracking is really good. It's because at the end of the day, it's not how many hours, but the quality of what sleep you had is really what is key here. Yeah, the other function is blood pressure. So I have just calibrated this watch to be able to give me the blood pressure reading. So that is really useful. And again, to get a blood pressure reading, you go to tile and then you measure. So it will take a bit of time, and it starts, and it tell you to sit still. So I'll be quiet just to ensure my reading is good. Yeah, there you go. So that's all good, and this is within the normal range, so awesome. But to get to this point, you would need to set up by ensuring your phone has the Samsung Health Monitor app. Once you get the Samsung Health Monitor app on your phone, then with the watch on one of your wrist, and then the blood pressure monitor, which you can get from any of the shops, or you can actually do it with your doctor on the opposite arm. You take the reading on your arm and the watch at the same time. You press it to start, and then you record the reading from the blood pressure monitor onto the Samsung Health Monitor app, which is what is supposed to be the place to receive the data from your blood pressure reading. And so you have to do that 3 times, and once you finish your 3rd time, and it's really, you know, straightforward, with assistance all the way, giving you guidance to help you measure all those 3 times, inputting the systolic as well as the diastolic information onto the blood pressure section of the Samsung Health Monitor. In the same Samsung Health Monitor, you get access to the ECG record as well. So if your watch measures your ECG, you can back up or record your results onto the Samsung Health Monitor as well. And again, to take the ECG reading, you need to put your finger on the side of it and hit measure, and you measure it for you. and it has 4 main sections of outcomes that can happen from your reading. One is that your ECG is normal, and the other is like it's not normal and you have a problem, and it could also give you inconclusive results. Yeah, and this is the normal reading that you can get from the ECG monitoring, and this means you have no issues to worry about, and you don't have the atrial fibrillation, which is one that when you get, you need to see your doctor and check whether everything is fine. And the other thing is also stress. You can measure your stress level, which is really useful. So to measure your stress, it shows you your stress levels here. Yeah, so it can, I've put mine to measure continuously, so at any point in time I can see it. And as you can see, as it's showing, I'm chilled now. Yeah, you never know, it could get to times where it goes up. And then you can also measure blood oxygen. So you saw the sleep functionality. We saw that you could measure your blood oxygen whilst you sleep. You can also measure that instantaneously by coming to the tile here and then hitting measure. Automatically starts measuring it. And stay still. There you go. So yeah, normally you're expected to have 95 to 100 if you're very old, but yeah, mine is 99. That's fine. So it's good that this watch is able to tell me all these essential information that I wouldn't know until I go to the doctor. So it gives me all these figures in my hands and helps me to make my choices well in order to improve some of the numbers like my body fat and the rest, to ensure that I am fully fit and that I'm achieving my health goals. This is all I have for you now. I will see you in the next video. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. If this is the kind of content you want, subscribe, hit notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. See you. Bye.